Donald Trump's uncle reviewed Tesla's death ray, secrets, and found mysterious royal letters.
I think they...
Well, he looks like a Trump, doesn't he?
He kind of does.
That's what Trump would look like if he didn't do the comb over.
Wasn't he working at a Wright-Patterson as well?
Was he?
An old hotel room in Manhattan. Crooked curtains, piles of papers, improvised experiments on the tables. On the door, a small cardboard sign, "Do not disturb." That night, no one went in. The next morning, the maid ignores the sign, walks into room 3327 of the New Yorker Hotel, and finds the body of arguably the greatest mind of the 20th century, Nikola Tesla. He's 86 years old. Officially, he died of a heart attack, alone, in a cheap hotel suite. But what happens after his death might be even stranger than his life. Within a few days, a government agency called the Office of Alien Property Custodian, acting on federal orders, enters the hotel and seizes everything he owned: trunks, suitcases, manuscripts, patents, notebooks. Officially, it's routine procedure. Unofficially, people still believe that at least 20 cases of documents vanished in the process. At some point, those papers end up on the desk of a scientist at MIT, a man named John G. Trump. Yes, the uncle of Donald Trump.
Dr. Trump was one of the few people in America who could read and understand the advanced work that Tesla had been engaged in. But Dr. Trump had been instructed to search for something in particular.
But I was particularly looking for something which would be evidence of a secret weapon, which I was reminded by the two agents who were present during the entire time, was a matter of concern to the United States.
And that's where this story really starts. Because if everything was so harmless and worthless, then why did the U.S. government seize the property of its own citizen, keep part of those documents classified for decades, and, by all accounts, never return all of the trunks it had taken? What actually happened to Tesla's papers, and why is the government still not telling the full story? Before we get to the missing trunks, we need to understand the state Tesla was in when he reached 1943. This is not the glamorous Tesla from the laboratory photographs, surrounded by lightning and applause. This is Tesla living in a quiet hotel room on the 33rd floor of the New Yorker, feeding pigeons in Bryant Park, refusing doctors, living almost entirely on milk and honey. In the decades before his death, he lost most of his financial backing. He clashed with industry and capital, and projects like wireless power transmission and the Wardenclyffe Tower collapsed. At the same time, the world was entering World War II. In interviews, Tesla spoke of Teleforce, a weapon that could knock airplanes from the sky, systems of wireless energy, communication across enormous distances. For some, these were visions of a futurist. For others, technology that, if it fell into the wrong hands, could shape the outcome of the war. And this is where Tesla's private life, wartime paranoia, and the interests of the state begin to overlap. His nephew, Sava Kosanovic, a Yugoslav diplomat, arrives to collect his belongings, papers, and will. He believes he has the natural right to his uncle's legacy, but at the same time, something else is happening. An FBI agent contacts the Office of Alien Property Custodian, the office authorized to seize the property of aliens and enemy nationals. Even though Tesla was an American citizen, the FBI fears his papers might end up in the hands of the government of occupied Yugoslavia through Kosanovic. The result? A representative, Walter C. Gorsuch, arrives at the hotel and seals everything. The room, the storage, the trunks. Everything goes under state control. And here we meet the first crucial point of distrust. Why would a democratic government in the middle of a war seize the property of its own citizen and treat it almost as if it belonged to the enemy? After the seizure, Tesla's estate does not look like a few dusty boxes. We're talking about dozens of trunks, suitcases, folders, around 80 cases filled with manuscripts, drawings, prototypes, letters, even devices from his labs. Years later, when Tesla's legacy is finally sent to Belgrade, 80 trunks marked NT arrive. Official accounts generally say his entire legacy arrived in Belgrade in 80 trunks. But then,
Tells everyone in the investment class this guy's a kook, and if you invest with him, you don't do business with me. A few years later, Wardenclyffe Tower gets torn down, Tesla dies in poverty.
Yeah.
And where are those 20 boxes?
Yeah.
And why was the government so quick to respond to that crime scene?
several sources claim that 80 trunks were seized, but only 60 were returned. Because if 20 trunks really vanished, what was inside them?
Here enters a man who sounds like a character written for a film. John G. Trump, MIT professor, high-voltage expert, wartime researcher, and uncle of Donald Trump. The government picks him to examine Tesla's papers. The Navy microfilms anything useful. Trump reviews the rest. His official report states that Tesla's documents were speculative, philosophical, promotional, with no new practically workable principles. Nothing dangerous, nothing revolutionary, no death ray. But then, the contradiction. If there was nothing of value, why the secrecy? Why the classification? Why the missing trunks? You don't need science fiction to notice the pattern. Control, secrecy, missing records, distrust. Some testimonies claim Tesla always carried a black notebook filled with hundreds of pages, some marked government. Kosanovic later claimed that when he entered Tesla's room, those technical papers and the black notebook were already missing.
When I arrived, I found the safe was open. I don't know who ordered the opening of the safe. I learned later that all the government officials and the police and the coroner and so forth, medical examiner, had been there and gone.
Miss Musar explained to me that the Edison Gold Medal Tesla had been awarded in 1917 had been locked in a drawer inside the safe, along with the keys to that drawer.
Can we prove this notebook existed? No, but we can prove the government monitored Tesla's potential weapon ideas as early as 1940, and some expected papers truly were missing. Not a smoking gun, but enough to fuel 80 years of speculation. Three main theories. 1. The death ray, a theoretical weapon Tesla described. Even incomplete, it terrified governments. 2. Wireless global energy, a world where electricity is free, wireless, unstoppable. A threat to militaries, monopolies, entire economies. 3. Long-range detection and communication signals from space. Early radar concepts, independent communication networks.
There are huge corporations that have very large investments in a particular path of technology, which is ours.
Right.
And for somebody to come up with a whole new path of technology, it's very threatening to them. and much better from their point of view to suppress it, or if they can't suppress it, to kind of buy it and hide it.
This isn't just about trunks. It's about trust. When a government seizes property, withholds information, releases documents decades too late, and fails to keep clean inventories, people fill in the gaps. Some with research, some with fantasy, some with fear. And in that vacuum, conspiracy grows. The question, what was in Tesla's missing papers, may never have a complete answer. Maybe the trunks held nothing but drafts and dreams. Maybe they inspired technologies we use today. Maybe they contained ideas too disruptive to reveal. But the deeper question is this: why does it feel like this is a story we're never going to be told in full? Because when a government says, "There's nothing here," and evidence later reveals there was something, it gives us one more reason to believe the most explosive parts of history remain locked away. And until we know what was inside all 80 or 60 of Tesla's trunks, this mystery will remain a perfect blend of facts, gaps, and the darkness between them. So tell me, what scares you more? That Tesla may have discovered something so powerful it had to be hidden forever? Or that we may never be told the truth at all?
Electric power is everywhere present in unlimited quantities and can drive the world's machinery without the need of coal, oil, gas, or any other fuel. This new power for the driving of the world's machinery will be derived from the energy which operates the universe, the cosmic energy.